You can feel the excitement building around this team right now because something about this offense feels different heading into the season. There's speed, versatility, toughness, and finally the kind of playmakers that can make defenses uncomfortable every single snap. And the crazy part is, some of these new guys might end up making a bigger impact than people are expecting right away. Training camp battles are going to be intense, the competition is real, and honestly, this could end up being one of the most entertaining Steelers teams we've watched in years. But before we keep going, make sure you smash that like button and drop "Here we go" down in the comments if you're riding with the black and gold this season. Jeremy Bernard may not have arrived in Pittsburgh with the same national attention as some of the first-round receivers in this class, but inside the Steelers organization, there's a growing belief that this could end up being one of the smartest offensive additions the franchise has made in years. The deeper you look into Bernard's game, the easier it becomes to understand why the Steelers targeted him so aggressively in the second round, and why there's already excitement about how quickly he could become a major piece of this offense. At 6'1" and 206 pounds, Bernard already looks like an NFL receiver physically. He's not built like a pure speed demon, and nobody is confusing him with the type of vertical burner who wins every snap with raw explosiveness alone. But that's not what makes him dangerous. What stands out immediately is how polished his overall game already is before even taking an NFL snap. His movement skills are incredibly smooth, to the point where defenders can underestimate how fast he's actually moving. Even though questions about his long speed followed him during the draft process, he still posted a respectable 4.48 40-yard dash, proving he has more than enough athleticism to survive and thrive at the professional level. But the real reason people inside the Steelers building are excited about Bernard is what happens after he catches the football. This is where his game becomes special. Bernard has a natural feel for space that cannot be taught. He understands angles like a running back. He knows exactly how to position his body to maximize yards after the catch, and he consistently turns short completions into explosive gains. His contact balance is elite for a receiver entering the league, and his vision with the ball in his hands gives Pittsburgh an entirely different dimension offensively. When you watch his tape closely, you see a player who almost plays with a sixth sense once the ball arrives. He anticipates defenders before they fully commit. He sets up blocks naturally. He feels leverage instantly and attacks weaknesses in pursuit angles without hesitation. That's why there's already so much discussion about how perfectly he could fit into this Steelers offense. Pittsburgh doesn't just want another receiver lining up outside the numbers. They want somebody who can create easy offense. Bernard can do exactly that from day one. The most fascinating part of this entire situation is how naturally Bernard's strengths connect with the style of quarterback play expected in this offense. The Steelers clearly wanted a receiver capable of becoming an instant safety valve, somebody who can turn quick rhythm throws into chain-moving plays consistently. Bernard projects as exactly that type of weapon. His ability to uncover quickly and create separation in the short and intermediate areas makes him an ideal target in timing-based concepts, and that's critical in an offense that values precision. What really separates Bernard from many rookie receivers, though, is his route-running maturity. This is not a raw prospect entering the league, needing 2 or 3 seasons to understand how to manipulate defenders. Bernard already runs routes with veteran-level tempo and discipline. That matters far more than casual fans sometimes realize. NFL route running is not simply about getting open. It's about understanding timing, spacing, pacing, leverage, and how your route fits into the quarterback's progression. Bernard already demonstrates those advanced details naturally. That polish could allow him to earn trust much faster than most rookie wide receivers. Historically, younger receivers often struggle because NFL quarterbacks demand exact timing and reliability. Bernard enters the league with many of those nuances already developed. His transitions in and out of breaks are clean. He understands how to vary tempo within routes, and he consistently presents a dependable target window for the quarterback. That's why there's genuine belief he could avoid the slow developmental curve that affects so many rookie pass catchers. Another reason the Steelers fell in love with Bernard is his versatility. Pittsburgh values offensive flexibility, and Bernard offers it everywhere. He can line up outside, he can work from the slot, he can motion into the backfield. Alabama even used him creatively on designed touches and screen concepts because of how dangerous he becomes once the ball is in space. The Steelers now suddenly have an offense filled with movable pieces, and Bernard may become one of the most important chess pieces of all. Imagine the possibilities this creates alongside DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. Defenses won't be able to lock onto one alignment tendency because all three receivers can move around the formation. Metcalf can dominate vertically outside. Pittman can work inside or outside, depending on matchups. Bernard can attack from virtually anywhere while stressing defenses horizontally after the catch. That kind of versatility makes game planning against Pittsburgh far more difficult than it has been in recent years. There's also another element to Bernard's profile that the Steelers clearly valued heavily: reliability. His hands are extremely dependable. He may not currently project as the type of contested catch specialist who constantly wins above defenders downfield, but when the football arrives in his area, he usually finishes the play. Coaches love that consistency. Quarterbacks love it even more. Trust is everything at the NFL level, and Bernard already plays like somebody quarterbacks can rely on. Then there's the mentality aspect. Every report coming out of Alabama described Bernard as an extremely hard worker, a high-character teammate, and somebody fully committed to preparation. That absolutely matters in Pittsburgh. The Steelers have clearly been trying to reshape the overall personality of the offense, especially after dealing with frustrations surrounding consistency and maturity from certain players in recent years. Bernard arrives with a reputation for professionalism, accountability, and effort. And maybe that's what makes this selection feel so important long-term. Bernard may never become a flashy headline machine or the type of receiver who posts 1,700-yard seasons, but the Steelers may not need him to be that. What they need is a complete receiver capable of elevating the offense in multiple ways simultaneously. A player who blocks willingly, a player who understands spacing, a player who creates after the catch, a player who executes his assignment correctly every snap. Bernard checks nearly every one of those boxes already. Even the concerns surrounding his game feel relatively manageable. The biggest criticism is that he lacks elite vertical explosiveness. He's not consistently going to run by defenders 20 or 30 yards downfield, and his separation deep outside the numbers may never become elite. But Pittsburgh already has players capable of stretching the field vertically. Bernard doesn't need to become that type of receiver to succeed. His role is different, and honestly, it may be even more important for sustaining offensive rhythm consistently throughout games. The comparison that continues to surface around Bernard is Adam Thielen, and when you really study the similarities, it makes a lot of sense. Neither player relied primarily on elite athletic traits. Both win with intelligence, body control, reliable hands, route detail, and spatial awareness. Thielen built an outstanding NFL career, becoming one of the most dependable number 2 receivers in football for years. If Bernard develops into that caliber of player for Pittsburgh, this pick could become one of the steals of the draft. Right now, the expectation inside this offense is that Bernard enters training camp competing immediately for the WR3 role, But there's a very realistic chance he quickly earns even more responsibility than that. Pittsburgh plans to move him around, create mismatches, and use his versatility creatively from the very beginning. The coaching staff clearly believes his skill set can unlock more flexibility for the entire offense. And honestly, when you step back and look at the bigger picture, this receiver room suddenly feels dramatically more complete than it did not long ago. Metcalf brings physical dominance and explosive vertical ability. Pittman brings size and toughness. Bernard brings polish, versatility, and yards-after-catch creativity. That combination gives Pittsburgh one of the more balanced receiving groups the franchise has had in a very long time. The scary part for opposing defenses is that Bernard may only improve once he settles into the NFL environment. Players with his football IQ, route discipline, and awareness tend to adapt quickly because their games are not built solely on athletic advantages. They're built on understanding the position deeply. That foundation often translates extremely well to the next level, especially when surrounded by experienced veterans and a creative offensive structure. So, now it's your turn, Steelers Nation. Do you believe Jeremy Bernard can become one of the biggest steals of this draft class? Can this new-look wide receiver trio, with DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman Jr., and Bernard develop into one of the most dangerous groups in the entire NFL over the next few seasons? Drop your thoughts down in the comments section because I want to hear exactly how confident you are in this offense heading into the new year. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Steelers update. We're covering every rookie, every roster battle, every breaking story, and every major development surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers all off-season long. And when you're done here, click on the video that's now popping up on your screen, because that's where you'll find the next big Steelers breakdown you do not want to miss. First-hand Steelers news, analysis, and exclusive coverage is only going to be right here.